With my business shoeing horses, I had no time to train horses. I had a couple of shares in a horse. We bought a yearling at the sales one time and sold him for quite good money, but no, it only eventuated when I bought a chicken farm and actually had a bit more time on my hands. And I actually did an amateur course at Addington just for a bit of fun one day, and I got behind a horse and drove it, which I hadn't done for a long time, and it just felt right. And I thought, I've got to do this. This is what I've got to do. So I gave up playing football and bought a mare. I bought a mare off Brian Kerr, paid $1,000 for her, called Do a Runner. It was bred by Derek, and it was probably the last of the whole family that he had. It goes right back to Craven, which left Geffen, Dupree, way before you guys' time, but really, really good trotters. And it was just by fluke. I didn't know she was that breed, but I thought we'll keep it going, and it's an absolute honour to have a horse of Derek's, his breed, that we race. It's great. I took her to a few amateur workouts and trials, and she got better and better, and we finished up winning 2 races with her. She went really well. Colin DeFilippi helped me train her, and he drove her for me. And yeah, it's just got since then. And then we bred from her. For whatever reason, we bred to Al Sue, and we got a little mare that was actually had a lot of ability but had real bad knees, so we couldn't. She ran second a couple of times, but that was about it. Then we bred her to Santana Blue Chip, and we got a parrot mouth on the filly that won a race. And then we bred her again to Jeremy's Jet and got All About Henry. Now, he was quite a nice horse. He couldn't go on a all-weather track, but he won 5 races on the grass. A lot of ability, but he didn't probably try as hard as he could have. And then the next horse by Terra Lovers was Kiss the Girls, and he seems to be getting better and better. I like him more and more. My breeding aspirations early on weren't high. I was certainly breeding on a budget. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on stallions, so therefore that would be fair comment. Michael House actually told me, for goodness sake, Derek, put that mare to Better's Delight, but I just couldn't face the $25,000 service fee. And so we just bred to basic stallions. I had a bit to do with Terra Love because we worked our horse at Graham's quite a bit, and I knew what a lovely, lovely horse and what a top horse he was, so we thought we'll have a crack with him. And we've got a lovely horse out of him. George has got the same sort of nature. He looks a lot like him. Probably not as good, but nonetheless, he's a nice horse. We'd already bought Sunny Cash at the sales, and I didn't want another horse, but my wife just seen Elusive Chick come into the ring. Wasn't even named the horse, actually, it was just a bay filly. And she said, Derek, you've got to buy this horse. And I thought, no, I don't want another horse, but she talked me into it, and we got it for $3,000. And it turned out to be Elusive Chick, and I think she won 14 races, just shy or around about $500,000, including the jewels. So she's done an absolutely magnificent job for us. We bred Elusive Chick to Better's Delight first up, and we got a filly called, and it turned out to be Lulu Le Mans. She's done a great job. She's won 10.
Lulu Le Mans! What a special win with Peter looking down.
Then she went twice to Sweet Lou because we thought that would be a good cross. Unfortunately, there probably would have been a good cross. They were both nice foals, nothing wrong with the stallion, but one had colic and died, and the other had a paddock accident and severed its tendon. So we didn't have any luck with them. So then we went back, thought, right, we'll go to Better's Delight again, and we got a lovely colt that we called Gary because the other 2 shareholders are both called Gary, so we called him Gary, and got him ready for the sales. Kevin and Bonnie had him from a foal and looked after him for us. Kevin told him to take him home and look after him. He thought he was a $100,000 foal, and I thought, that sounds great. So we did that. We took him back here, and he was on the walker here most days for a couple of months. Then we took him to sales, and he sold for $210,000, which was far beyond my biggest expectations. Normally we only have 4 here. That's about as many horses as we can probably do because I work full-time still, and so does Kath. We like that. That's just a nice number for us, so we can put a lot of time into them, and we keep it as a hobby rather than as a profession. It's not a profession, it's just a hobby. I work as an advisor at Teagle Foods. I go around to the odd chicken farm and try and help the growers improve on their performance, bird welfare and such the like is important, so that's my job. I go around and make sure that everything's done right for them. Well, we train here. We sold our property in Rolleston and I needed a place to go, and I approached Kipros and he very kindly said we could bring our horses here, and we have facilities that are probably as good as you can get. Fantastic. I've never trained for Kipros before. This is the first horse, but I was the blacksmith here back in the times when Robert Cameron was training, showing some fantastic horses. He had absolutely brilliant horses: Iraklis, Lavros Star, Anvil Star, just to name a few. Yeah, fantastic horses, and I love showing for Robert Cameron. He's a fantastic trainer, and they had a lot of success. The two horses are very easy to train. George, Kiss the Girls, is a big blouse. He'll shy at anything, but I usually get Kath to drive him, so I don't have to drive him.
Now Kiss the Girls has been eased out of the race. It's got a flat near side tyre.
The Country Cups final was pretty gut-wrenching, to be fair. I'm not saying he would have won it, but he was pretty right and he was pretty well, but not to get a chance to be pulled out with a round to go was very hard to take, to be honest. That on top of the fact that the part owner of Kiss the Girls, Catherine, had lost her dad about a week before that, and so it was a bit of a downer night. So going to Rangiora the other day with having Kath there and Adele and him winning it, it was just fantastic. Probably my favourite, one of our more satisfying moments in the game. Majestic Lavros is just a dream horse. He's just a lovely boy, wants to do everything for you. You couldn't ask for a nicer horse to train. He's a majestic son, and they're actually quite notorious for getting quarter cracks. There are quite a few of them around that seem to get him. It just seems to be a fault with the breed probably, and he has quite a decent one. Initially came from galloping on and jumping on himself. I think it was in the trotting free for all about a year ago, and we tried to manage it ever since then. Mark did a great job of managing it, and I was actually shooting him there for him. So very hard things to manage, because they can just be fine for 1 week and next day you might work them and they'll be split open and there'll be blood coming out of your foot. So we haven't had anything like that in the last 3 months. It's been perfect, and he just seems to be really good at the moment. Well, he wears what we call aluminium heart bars, which is a solid shoe that goes right around the foot, and when he lands on the ground it doesn't let the foot spread. And in doing that, it keeps the crack close together. It's a bit like having a split fingernail, really, quite a nasty, right back to the quick. And we also put a screw of plate either side of it, so once again it stops it spreading. That seems to be doing the trick really, really well. The track here is first rate, and we also have the use of the pull, which we do frequently, and it really helps the horse, so he's not banging on the track the whole time. He actually gets a lot of swimming in conjunction with his training. I'm not a winter trainer. I like the spell myself, to be perfectly honest. Majestic Lavros races in the Uncut Gems this Friday. It's a very, very good field, but he's a very, very good horse, so we're hoping. Kiss the Girls is going to bypass the Uncut Gems because he's not really a short course horse. There's a lovely race from a week later, 2,600 metre stand at Addington, and that'll be his last start. He'll go out after that. Oh, the Uncut Gems is a fantastic concept. If it had been 2,600 metres, I'd have had Kiss the Girls there in an instant. And I think it's a fantastic stake. It allows horses that aren't in that top tier a real chance of winning some really good stake money right on your back door. I couldn't endorse it enough.